we're not feeling sensible today. I want to go full speed. This boat is not going to suit everyone. But for some of you, this thing's going to be an absolute cracker. So in this video, we're going to go for a drive. We're going out in the ocean and blast around the Broadwater, and you can see if it's something that's going to suit your boat life. Okay, guys, ladies, gentlemen, wherever you're watching from, welcome to almost the Pacific Ocean. We're just exiting the bar up here on the Gold Coast in Queensland, taking advantage of my suspension seats right now. Very comfortable, 25 knots speed over ground, and we did have a flood tide, but it's changed by now, so the conditions are on the change. We have active water below us right now, so a little bit more lively than a couple of hours ago when we were flying the drone. It's got one jet ski crossing my bow, so I better just come off the pace, let him cross, and then what I'm going to do is just going to brake right and run with the wind, just so we can replicate the drone shoot. Let's do it now. So, Dan Jones is my name. G'day. Welcome to Dan's Boat Life. Hope you're having a good one. I'm having a cracker of a day. It is going to be 27 degrees here and it's winter. How good's that? 300 horsepower on this XO Defender 8. This is the new model from XO, a full cabin boat. We've got a 300 horsepower, 385 litre tank capacity in total, and we got 185 litres on board. Myself, Jay, a couple of bags including camera equipment, and we have some swell coming in from the port aft quarter right now, wind on the starboard aft quarter. So we're essentially going downwind, down swell right now, and we're just cruising. I'll speed her up a little bit more in a second. My revs are 5,300 to 5,400 revs, and I got 31 knots. You can do up to a 450 horsepower on this hull. So if you're that way inclined, yes, it is possible. And let's go full speed in the ocean. All right, you can feel that 23 degrees of dead rise doing its thing, and the GRP set into the aluminium does dampen a lot of the noise. We've got all the doors closed, but the sunroof open. The heat is a bit of an issue, I'll tell you right now. You probably want to factor in some solutions to that in hotter countries or hotter times of the year. I can think probably for 6 to 8 months of the year in Sydney, it would be just fine, because we do get cold enough. So Sydney South or some other country, it would be just fine. Now I'm going to brake right, slowing my speed down and holding that turn at 26 knots. And we're going to do another full speed run when we get into the flat water. Not an overly aggressive day out here in the ocean today. Just wind trop, a little bit of swell. Nothing a boat like this can't handle. Got a little bit of a whistle at the front opening door here, so that's just something you might have to pay attention to, any air gaps that need sealing or whatever it is. Maybe I didn't close it properly. Now the suspension seats are coming into their own, because we are going into what you could consider a short and sharp chop. I'm doing that at 26 knots, 4,800 revs. I don't have fuel flow on this one, so I can't talk to you about fuel flow today, but the suspension seats are giving me a noticeable advantage. And just remember, guys, this is the style of boat that you should buy if you have commuting destinations, going fast one place and then getting off the boat. So if that's you, then that's where you'll see an advantage in this style. Just a little tidbits here. If you, with a cutting bow hull like this with flat sides, when you have the choice to just angle that cutting bow straight into the waves like I am right now, that's going to give you the most pleasurable experience. So because I've got to get back into the bar and the wind is now picking up from a northeasterly direction, giving me some northeasterly chop, I'm just going to favour driving straight into that until I can brake left and then go down and back into the bar, because it's going to give me a more comfortable ride. But just for the purpose of the exercise, I'll slow it down just a tiny bit and I'll put these waves side on to the hull and let you listen to the experience. You might hear a little bit more slapping on the side of the hull. What you can do, if you want to avoid that, just use the trim tabs and just lean the boat over to give more pointy edge to these waves. Okay, so it might feel weird, but that is one possible solution to just changing your experience as you make your way through the waves. Okay, I've got a yacht here. I'm actually just going to go behind him so I don't freak him out. I'll slow down. Some of these sailors won't be happy with us zooming around too close. Trim tabs are effective on this boat. I would get them. They will improve and modify your experience as you go. You just need to be careful to reach through the throttle to operate them. Reaching over the throttle in this particular position, it's not ideal. Okay, trim tabs fully up, waves confused, and cutting through them. 28 knots, coming over the bar. The tide's going to be flowing a little bit now, and got to watch your angles because she will want to introduce a little bit of roll if you don't approach the wave at the right angle. Just hang on and power through it, it's okay. Get out of the way, seagull. There we go. You do have to watch this bar too because so many surfers, they actually paddle across here from this side to that side because the surf's good over here. But I tell you what, I certainly wouldn't be doing something like that. That's you're really taking your life in your own hands because anyone who's not watching, you could come to a bit of grief. Okay, now that we're starting to exit the exposed water, I'm going to just hook it around to the left and I'm going to do a downwind run and then I'm going to do an upwind run and we're going to see what speed this boat's capable of. So we've got about half fuel on board, 2 people, a little bit of gear. Now we're getting into the flat stuff. My trim tabs are going all the way up. My engine trim is going to go up in a second. 5,500 revs, 32 knots at the moment. I'm just going to maintain that right now. A little bit of traffic, one boat. Going to get around the corner, just eye the traffic situation before I open it to wide open throttle. Obviously with this single 300, you can have the option to go twin 225s or the single 450. You're going to have just slightly higher cruising revs for the comparative speed if you were comparing it to the other motor, but it's just one of those considerations. You know, let's back it off right now. I think, before I go full speed, I think a sensible cruising speed on this boat in flat water would be that 29 to 28 knots, 4,800 revs. That seems much more sensible, but we're not feeling sensible today. I want to go full speed. Okay. 34 knots, 6,000 revs, 6,050 revs, 36 knots. I would say that's probably about the limit of this motor. 36.2 knots, wide open throttle, 6,030 to 6,050 revs. Very comfortable, visibility's great. Now I'm just going to back it off, got a jet ski coming the other direction, shallow water to right and left, no traffic behind me. I'm going to slow down, come off the plane, engine trim going down, wait for this jet ski to pass to port, then I'm going to hook it and I'm going to try the same again, going the other direction because we are in a tidal zone and we do have wind flowing, so we'll just see what speed we get. Okay, there you go, mate. Hooking to port and I'll let him accelerate. He's just having a bit of fun, don't want to get in his way. 3, 2, 1. Okay, jet ski is ahead. 28 knots, very quickly. Is this jet skier watching? Just got to look out for him. Yep, he's looking. 34 knots, 6,000, and just get a little trim up. 30 revs, again, into the wind, 34.6 knots. 34.6 knots at 6,000 to 6,030 revs. There we go. Let's get her into the shallow water and we'll wrap this video up for you. So guys, what did you think of that? Jump into the comments and let me know. Where do I see this boat fitting into the market? Well, it's clearly a commuter boat. It's clearly going to be suitable for people who want to go from A to B, and that's its best purpose. Can you find other purposes for it? Yes. roof racks, surfboards, wingdingers, electric foiling, all of that would be possibly quite suitable to a fast, aluminium, rugged, capable thing. Like I thought before, there could be some blokes up in the Northern Territory with some wild ideas, strapping dead crocodiles to the roof. Who knows? So what does it compete with? Probably a lot of the other commuters from Finland and that part of the world. I can think the Hydrolift X26, that's a Norwegian boat. There's even, I think it's called a Nordkapp. They've got an 800C, which looks like it fits in this market as well. You know, some of those brands are not represented in Australia. The Hydrolift is. What else is there? You could also throw in the Nimbus C and T8 and the Saxdor 270. They're not out and out commuters. They are more everyday family mass market boats with, you know, this similar hull shape. So you do you. It's your boat life at the end of the day. If you enjoyed that, don't forget to subscribe. Please like, share it with your mates, all that good stuff. I got a Patreon, would love your support. I'm going to link to 2 competing boats right now. So if you are enjoying this vibe, click on the link coming up on the screen right now and have a look at those. Thanks, guys.